Okay.
All right, welcome to another episode of Class in Session. Today we have a very special guest. She is all the way in Kuwait. I am so grateful to have you here with me, Miss Carlene. Thank you so much for joining me.
The pleasure is all mine.
And just to double check, I know I asked you earlier off camera, but how are you today?
I think I'm good under the circumstances. I guess we all know what's happening in this part of the world, but under the circumstances, I am doing okay.
Okay, and we're grateful for that. All right,
Amen.
let's get started. Take us all the way back. What did your teaching life look like in Jamaica?
My teaching life started when I was, 17 years old. So it spanned over 30 years in the classroom in Jamaica from kindergarten straight up to grade 6. My longest stint serving at the grade 6 level.
Okay. And previously I remember you telling me, you were principal, you were head of this, you were
Vice principal. I acted as vice principal for a while, yes.
Tell me about all of those, those milestones. Let me not say little, all of those huge milestones that you achieved with.
Well, I started as pre-trained teacher, went to the Michael College part-time.
Don't start.
Yes. You look here. Don't do this. Went to the Michael College part-time, graduated from the Michael College. Then, I became
I know.
Yes. Then I became a trained teacher. I worked at Manningsville. I did my teaching practice at Manningsville Primary at the time. That's in St. Andrew. And then I left from there and I went to, I don't even remember. I think I went to Tarrant. And then from Tarrant, I went to DuPont Primary, where I basically stayed all my teaching life, because my life at DuPont spanned over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So at DuPont, that was basically where my teaching life was formed. I was in grade 1, I taught grade 4, grade 5. And then my final landing in grade 6, I became grade 6 coordinator, senior teacher. I acted as vice principal for a while. Yeah.
That's quite a career. Quite a bit of experience that you must have garnered from, just.
Yes, I have learned a lot.
Yeah. Why Kuwait? Or before we even get to why, how did you transition from Jamaica to Kuwait? How did you even get there?
I can tell you it must be only God, because when we look at the cultural diversity in and of itself alone, the adaptation was like a 360 degree. And initially, my friend and I, we were not planning for Kuwait. We thought about going to the US. And, in terms, we looked at the behavior actually of students in the US. You hear about it all the time on the news. And I know my temperament. They call me Red Dragon at the point. I don't play.
Right.
So, I'm saying with all of the bad behavior and stuff, and then we just looked at Kuwait, it's a Muslim country. The behavior is not perfect, but it is way better in comparison. And we just took a shot at it. Well, my friend mostly, because she was the one who was pushing it. We took a shot at it, and it worked out. It was tedious at the beginning, even getting the documents ready, because coming to this part of the world is not something that is right at the front of a library or somewhere you can just go get information. Getting your documents and knowing where to go and who to go to was really a challenge, especially when we got to the last part of getting our documents certified. We had to send them to the US because we don't have any embassy here. So the process was quite tedious, but a good learning experience.
About how long did it take you guys from start to finish to be approved to work in Kuwait?
It took us probably about 3 months, because we started probably about the February or March, thereabouts. And we went through the summer and we left in August.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess my mind is looking at still the why, because I know every Jamaican, most of us, we only have three countries in mind. We have America, we have Canada, or we have England.
That's true.
So at what point, for your friend to even suggest Kuwait, of all places, I just think it is like a ram in the bush kind of. It's a very strange place to land.
I think, like me, she's a thinker out of the box. That's one. Number two, living in Kuwait, the package on the teacher side was not bad because you're provided with living accommodation. You do not pay bills. When you compare that to the United States, you have all of that to take care of on your own.
Yes.
A staff bus is provided to take you to work. Mind you, you pay a fee. But when you added up all of that, it was way better. Now, when I acted as vice principal, the salary that I'm getting now is more than when I acted as vice principal.
Wow.
Stepping up the ladder in the education system anywhere is like a bottleneck. You can just be senior teacher, vice principal, principal. A school can only have one principal.
Right.
A grade 5 school might only have two principals. I acted as vice principal, and there was nothing else for me to do in that job because we had two permanent vice principals. And so there was nothing more to gain or to experience there because I think I accomplished it all. Not saying that there wasn't growth for more. There was growth for more somewhere else.
Right.
And another crucial decision factor for me was my third daughter wants to do law. With my current salary in Jamaica, and I'm now a widow, I would not be able to afford to send her to law school. My eldest, that's my first daughter, she wanted to do law, and we could not afford it. And so I was not about to just sit and say, oh, this is deja vu for it to happen again. So my first daughter had to settle for doing something else that I could pay, because I strongly don't believe that a child should start life with a student loan hanging over their heads.
I agree.
It was my belief that, for their first degree at least, I'm going to pay for it out of pocket. And having put through two of them through university without them owing $1, and then thinking, oh, this last child wants to do law, and I still can't afford it. And that was one of the propelling whys for me, because I'm saying, no, this cannot happen twice. And even if I borrowed money in Jamaica to send her to school, I would be able to borrow the first year. On a teaching salary, miss, how are you going to qualify to get a loan for the second year? So, it's really to fulfill that dream for me, not having to repeat and to live that torture again of not being able to afford my child their dream of wanting to do what they really wanted to do.
Yes. So you moved to Kuwait. How long have you been there?
This is my third year.
Okay. I was there assuming that you've been there for like 15 about 15 years.
This is my third year.
Your third year. What are some of the culture shocks that you've experienced since being there?
When I came off the plane, that's the very first day, I saw everybody in these black shrouds. You read about it, but let me not call this shroud. They're actually abayas.
Okay.
And hijabs. You read about it, but when you actually see it, oh my goodness, that was like, whoo. And then going to work, my wardrobe had to totally change. You don't show your arms. You like what I'm wearing now, I'd have to have something else inside. So you're basically totally covered. You know, Pentecostal Christian kind of.
Yes, yes.
Not in a bad way, but you know, that was, and your clothes had to be loose. You had to ensure that your form and your figure was not pronounced. And you know, as Black people, because I'm Black, you know, as Black people, yes, I need to put that in there. Yes, as Black. And as Black people, you know, we're endowed with a lot of buttons, so you have to ensure that, you know, you're properly covered.
Yes.
Another thing that shocked me is like some simple words that we would take for granted. It was aram for them. You can't mention the word pig at all. Aram. So the language, the things that you can't say cheers, like some simple things that we take for granted. But I'm a fast learner, and you know, and another thing too, boys and girls are separated. So, you know, Jamaica, you have your boys and your girls in class. You have, at my school, we have boys and girls together up to grade 4. But once they hit grade 5, I teach grade 5. So grade 5 would like be a grade 6 in Jamaica. I teach grade 5. So the girls are by themselves and the boys are by themselves. So, you know, quickly, and I teach in English, surprisingly. I teach it. So the younger generation, I think they're more structured in the English language. They know their Arabic very well, but they learn in English at school. And so they were able, you know, miss, you don't say this, you don't say that. So they kind of guided me along as to the things that I could say and the things that I could not say and what I should do and what I should not do. My first year, I had a super nice batch of girls. Well, I've been blessed for the 3 years that I've been here. I've had beautiful students. My class size is like the biggest class I've gotten was 22, and that was the last year.
Okay. It sounds as if though you had to adjust, the adjustment was quick. And
yes,
you're actually liking being there.
Yes.
Yes. What's the major difference between a classroom there? I know you mentioned, you know, the boys are separated from the girls. Besides that, what is another standout difference from being in a Jamaican classroom versus Kuwait?
Another standout difference is the control of your, let me say, the knowledge that you impart, because they pay much homage to their religion. So although I work in an American school, we use American books. We have to do a lot of censoring of the information. And although the topics are listed, we have to go through them with a fine-tooth comb. Sometimes you're not allowed to be as flexible as you would want to be in Jamaica. You know, it's like you totally control all that happens in your classroom. Here, it's a little bit different. All lessons are planned and structured. You are encouraged to stick to that plan. And even if you're going to be diverting, be extra careful that you don't cross borders, say things that you're not to say, because it will come off as being offensive to them. So there's a lot of censoring of the information that you pass on to the students. Another thing that surprised me too is their method of assessments. You know, in Jamaica, you know, you're getting a test next week, you know, you study. The teacher says you're getting a test on all the topics that you did. That's not how it's done here. So they're going to be getting assessment. They are given the topic. They are given a review. We don't do that in Jamaica. Right? So that was a shocker for me. That took a while for me to get adjusted to that. Another thing that I embrace actually is how they view holiday and rest time. Holidays are like sacred, important. You know, Jamaica, you work, and if you take a day, they might say, she not come school.
Yes.
When it's holiday here, it's holiday.
Mhm.
You go traveling. It's not a time when you stay at home. And trust me, I've gotten into that mode, girl. As soon as it's holiday, I need
Yes.
to find somewhere for a vacation. I have totally embraced that, and I value how they view spending time together here. The entire family basically lives together. So they have huge houses. So
Okay.
you have the grandparents, the brothers, the sisters, the cousins, and they live on different levels.
Okay.
So their bonding seem to be a bit closer, and especially the respect that they have for their older folks. So we have
Mhm.
grandparents day, we have activities that includes the family a lot, and they actually come on campus, which is something that I really like.
Tell me a little bit more about them coming on campus.
So let's, for example, if we have, let's say, Grandparents Day, the grandparents are actually, they come to school. As teacher, we organize activities with the grandparent and their grandchildren in the classroom. We have had similar things for Mother's Day as well. We have Spirit Week. A lot of the Western traditions are here as well. We might call them different names, but we actually participate in some of those activities just the same, but they're a little bit more censored.
Okay. Do you find that there is a benefit to being so inclusive of family in the classroom?
I think so. It has its advantages and disadvantages, because in a private setting, when there's such a big involvement, it also affects, your freedom to how you impart the curriculum. It's like they are more on the side of giving orders and commands. They are more listened to. As opposed in my classroom in Jamaica, it's like whatever you say go, the parent will accept. Here,
Right.
it's kind of different. If it's something that they don't believe in, they're going to stick out. And sometimes the school actually gives them the leeway
It's
here.
more to the effect of the customer is always right.
Exactly. And it's a private institution. So, the fees and stuff, it's paid by parents. So I guess that is one of the reasons too, they have a little more say in how things are done.
Okay, understood.
But on the other side, the support is good in terms of, keeping the children in check, because the children are very disciplined. No
Okay.
child wants you to call home to say that you were rude today. It's something that is not tolerated. So
Yes.
I love that part of it.
Mm-hmm. Because being in an American school, right? And I've been blessed to be in spaces where students are held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
But I have heard many stories. You come across just a plethora of stories on social media where, teachers complain about parents, and they complain about how indisciplined the students are and how there is such a great lack of accountability, both on the student and the parent part. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
I had to decide if I wanted to actually step into a classroom here. I was not one of those teachers who came over on a teaching program. So I had
Okay.
the flexibility to decide if that's something that I wanted to do. And I had to really sit and ponder on it, because whereas we still have a discipline problem in Jamaica, I say that without any hesitation, we still have a discipline problem.
Yes.
But I found that in Jamaica, there was still some level of accountability.
Oh, yes.
Did not want you to call their mother, their auntie, anybody. And then
Exactly.
you had this, you were able to build relationships with parents, with family. So
Yes.
John decides that he wants to act up, you know John's mother on a different level. So you can
Oh,
easily
yes.
call or message. John's mother is sending you, sometimes send you breakfast in the morning or send you
Can I tell you?
a soup or, miss, eat a morning time, see one porridge here or, a breadfruit off of the tree or you
And you
have,
know what is good? What is good?
yes,
That does not compromise
exactly,
the outcome that they want for the children.
exactly.
Another point too, you see, no matter where you are in the world as a teacher, your first few weeks in your classroom in front of your students is a very determining factor.
Yes.
So yes, the students are disrespectful. The students, they're going to try you, they're going to test you. But if you lose that window the first 2, 3 weeks, that's it for you for the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I have managed to make use of that window. So I've not experienced a tumultuous classroom where things are haywire. I don't have that issue. I never had it in Jamaica, and I certainly don't have it here.
Mm-hmm.
And in Jamaica, it would be easier to manage because you can punish more. You can probably do a one slap here. Here, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I am able to function with just speaking, with just using reward system and just with a look and I don't have to shout and I don't have to scream. So
Mm-hmm.
it boils down to you upon entering your classroom for the first 1 to 3 weeks to set that bar. The
Mm-hmm.
children will know how far to go and they will know what is acceptable from what is not acceptable.
Let's talk about some of your rewards. You talked about having a reward system. What does that look like?
It's on different levels, and this is something that I'm not even doing anything new here. It's not like I'm reinventing the wheel. I'm do the same things that I did back home. I have a certificate system. I have a gift system where I actually have a container with tangible gifts.
Mm-hmm.
We use Class Dojo similar to Google Classroom. There's a
You
point
use
system
Class Dojo. I use
there.
Class Dojo for communication and
Yes, I
point.
use Class Dojo. So we use Class Dojo at the end of each term. I have a class award ceremony. I do a lot of motivational talks with them. I do a lot of encouragement and I get them to become participants. So like every morning, somebody would have to bring the encouraging word. So it's not like I'm doing anything that is radical. I did the same thing in Jamaica. If you go to St. Andrew Prep School and you ask about Miss Cameron, you're going to hear the same report. If you go to DuPont, it has been a steady performance pattern for me and it has worked.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where the children are from, no matter what color they are, the bottom line is they are all children.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you start off, those first few weeks, setting your boundaries, setting
Yes.
expectations, then more or less you're going to have a much better year, much better
Yes.
year than an educator who decided that they not even decided, but someone who was not true to the follow through of what those
Yes.
first few weeks should look like.
Oh, yes.
I was saying that I had to decide whether or not I wanted to jump in to teaching here. And I categorically enjoy it because, of course, because I'm in a place and space where accountability is paramount, where, students actually want to do well, where parents, for the most part, once you set that pace as a teacher, that I am here for you, I am
Yes.
here as part of your team, then I've got nothing but support from the parents. I
Yes.
think a lot of them want to be supported. I have never been in a space where I've had to deal with behavioral issues that have been so, as you called it, tumultuous, that I just like walking out and not coming back.
Girl, not bored. We are blessed because a lot of
Never,
educators cannot say that,
never, right? And so when I look at other educators talking about, all the issues in terms of discipline that they have, I feel for them. So
Mm.
I guess my question is, what would you suggest besides, setting those rules, setting up those guardrails the first few weeks? What other suggestions do you have for educators who are dealing with students who obviously have a lack of accountability and discipline issues?
I think first you have to assess yourself. Do you want to be in that space?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what I realize, a lot of educators are educators not because they wanted to be an educator.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to assess yourself. Is this the space I want to be in?
Mm-hmm.
And after you have, for me, this is where I want to be. So I think that makes a difference with my approach. If you're going to be disgruntled and ungrateful, it's going to bring a level of burden on you as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
So first, sort out your headspace. Where do you want to be? Set goals for yourself first, outside of your class. What is it that I want to accomplish this year? And understanding now that this is a tripartite relationship, it's not just me. How can I effectively get these two other groups on board? What are the means that I'm going to employ to ensure that my parents feel like a part of the equation, that my children trust me? Is it that I'm going to develop an excellent communication line with my parents, or am I gonna be one of those cocky teachers? Oh, I'm not give nobody my phone number, I'm not talk to nobody after 6 o'clock. Because sometimes you have to bend.
You have to bend.
And you have to understand too that parents work. I really want to talk to you before 3, but that parent might be doing a shift that prevents them from communicating with you at that time. So you have to embrace a level of flexibility as the teacher. So that is one of the things I have done. You have to get to the space of developing a higher level of tolerance. It's not like you're picking up things at the grocery store. You're dealing with humans, you're dealing with minds, you're dealing with people who coming from different places, who have different experience, who think that different things are okay on different levels, and some of them are not exposed to anything else. So as teacher, you have to assess all of what is before you. And after, you try to get to know your students. That's a good thing for me. So if somebody's asking me right now about Hannah, I can tell you about Hannah as opposed to an Anwar. So you have to know your students.
Pause right here.
That shaves a lot of.
And we're gonna pause because it says I get up to 30 minutes. So we've used first, so we're gonna have to close out and come back on, right? So I'm gonna send you another link, and then we can do the next 30 minutes. Yeah, it just.
Okay.
So let us close off here, right? And then I'm gonna just send you another link, and we go again. We continue.